Welcome back to the channel, RevKev RC. We're gonna do a kind of a quick comparison thing as an ask from a YouTube subscriber who wanted to try to choose between a version of this model and this model specifically. Thanks for stopping by, as usual. I apologize. I occasionally forget to give you guys the thanks and the kudos that you certainly have coming to you, because I couldn't do this, and I simply would not do this if it weren't for you. So we're going to get straight into it. I'm not going to drag this one out too terribly long, but I do think this is going to be a cool one to talk about here. Not that I don't have plenty of things to work on here in the shop. So a gentleman from across the pond, he wants to know. His name is Constantine, by the way, which is super cool. Let's find that photo again. The photo is in my phone, which is what's recording, so I had to take a photo of the email that's in this other phone that does not have email access. Isn't that fun? Okay, Constantine with a K. Oh, come on, phone. Stop doing that. Bring it back. Oh, we're going to have problems out of this guy. Okay. My name is Constantine. I'm from such and such place. I'm not gonna give you up, Constantine. I want to buy for me and for a child a 1/8 scale RC car. I chose between Cross RC EMO X5, which is the newer brushless version of this, and some other changes I'm going to talk about, or the MJX H8P, which is this beautiful honking guy over there. All right, so visually, I like both of them, but how good are they in terms of driving performance, turning, passing, or turning, comma, passing obstacles, comma, and the softness and accuracy of gas and U-turn control? Please advise me what to buy. I will be happy to hear your opinion. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. I appreciate that people think that my opinion matters at all. So this is a pretty fun question, and I'm kind of going to rely a little bit on everybody in the comments who has experience with these two brands. I've got a lot of experience with Cross RC. I have zero goose egg experience with the X5. But this is the predecessor to the X5, and I'm fairly certain I can give you a decent opinion about what you might get with the X5. And right before I hit record on this, I read the product page description about it, so that I would know some differences that truck has and this one does not. Okay, so first and foremost, if your love and desire is to have something that looks as scale as possible and performs really well, it's going to be the Cross RC all day long. Simply because you've got we're talking about what things in an RC that make it look cool, right? That make it look kind of real. Well, the toe boom really sells it for this. All this intricate stuff happening here, right? The X5 does not have the bed. It's a bedside with gas cans and traction boards that are apparently removable so you can use them. But it does have the boom, and it has lights in the rear. And you also have this very realistic, non-licensed Ford, probably like, I don't know, late 80s, maybe Ford. But back to the scale. You're getting mirrors with reflection in it, right? Yep. You don't get these. You can get these. I added these. But you can get the same accessory for the X5. I guarantee it. These are just LEDs that plug into the light board that's inside the truck, which I'll show you. So part of this is going to be like customizability, right? Comes with cool stickers. The X5, I'm sure, does, but because you don't have the bed, you're not going to have a place for a lot of this stuff, right? But as far as scale looks go, you have the bottom of the truck, okay? You have an actual bottom. You have fenders, right? You've got fenders, okay? That's just what they are above the tires. So when you look at this thing from underneath, you see what you could imagine in your mind's eye and maybe on film, which is kind of important to me for my latest endeavor in this YouTube thing. This could look real. It also comes with a driver, and he's serious. He's got a helmet on in there. It's genderless too, so that could be a woman, you know. That was very smart on their part. You got the genderless driver, all right? You've got built-in period correct headlights. These are actually kind of a yellow color. You've got strobes in here that look really cool. And I wasn't even going to put a battery in this, but I think I owe it to everybody to do that. If I'm going to give a little showcase, a little mini spotlight on Cross RC via the X3, I ought to actually turn the thing on. All right, got a battery put in it. Time stopped for you. Took me a few minutes to find one with a decent charge. So these trucks, your X5, if you get the X5, it will come with the Hobbywing Fusion 8, which can run 2 to 4S. And it's 1800 kV. These are 2-speed trucks. So it is absolutely going to go very fast if you want it to. Probably, almost certainly, faster than that. This is only capable of 3S. Even the brushed version, as this came 2 to 4S. Now it was brushed, so it wasn't as good as this is in terms of crawlability. But if we're keeping it, you know, we're talking about the X5. There we go. Okay, so I don't have a remote for, it's somewhere over there. The X5 will come with a remote similar to the one that I have here. This is off a different RC. It will look just like this. Front and rear lockers labeled. And you'll have your 2-speed, your light control, and then right here will be a 2-speed. How do they do this? That truck has a, oh, you know what? That truck has a boom on it with no electronics. So it probably won't come with a remote with the switch to do this. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure. You're going to want to look that up, Constantine. And if anybody in the comments watching this video can tell me, does the X5 come with the provisions in the receiver and the transmitter to add the powered tow truck boom feature? The X3 comes with it. I don't know why they got rid of that. I guess people wanted to be able to put in their own power system to make them really powerful. I find this is just fine for as infrequently as I've ever used it, and it's actually quite strong. It's just very slow. So that is a reality. But that's about this truck. So as far as lighting goes, that's why I wanted to put the battery in there for you to show you what you get. You get period correct and very accurate to the amber marker lights here. No blinkers on this one because it's a tow truck. They think you're going to take this off-road and tow RCs, right? We have they don't appear to be yellow because they're not really yellow. They're white, but not that aggressive LED, like burn your retina out white. Now, they also have high beams, which are, again, they look incredibly real. Let's cycle through that. I mean, have a look at how real the molding on that plastic in there is. It's got the ribbing in there that breaks the light up just like the real thing. The housings in here are reflective, like this chrome grill. It's all one piece, so that gets incorporated into this overall look. You've seen that we got the police style lights doing that. Yeah, it's got its own little sequence it's on. And then you've got all the cross RCs come with this sort of, I call it a strobe show or seizure mode or whatever you want to call it. So at this point, the rear is doing something. Okay. Now, if we do that, we get regular. These are not hazards because the front is also blinking. You get whatever that is. Okay. And then right now we just have daytime running lights. There is no fully off for this truck, and I'm going to make the jump and assume it's the same for the X5. They simply updated the rear bed design and frankly, unfortunately, took some features away. And if you're into making your own boom motor, according to the description, they give you the kit in the purchase to do that yourself. They just don't give you the actual motor. So I think that's okay. For what this costs and what you're getting with the other one, I think the price is about right anyway. And if you wanted to put a big honking motor in there, you can get stuff pretty inexpensive. So I added these lights. These come on when the headlights come on. So we have no reverse lights. Okay. And no brake lights. Again, this is a tow truck. It's meant to be driven off-road. So when we go into our bright light mode, these come on a little bit brighter. So that's all of your light functions. Now, not that it matters necessarily, but you know, the remote that this came with, you could operate this boom tow winch thingy, this tow thing. And I have it on my channel 5 dial. You see, it is fairly slow. Right? So, and I'm fine with that because it has quite a bit of torque. It doesn't need anything else to get it to pull things. It just is slow. Something else I thought was cool is if you wanted to, I don't know why you'd want to, but if there's a screw on each side over here you can take out, allows you to move this whole boom forward, which I don't know, it's kind of neat. Maybe if you wanted to use the bed for something. It does make the whole truck, I don't know, 2.5 inches taller. So it is a little neat thing you can do. So I just do it like that, and it stores the line. And yeah. Now, I don't think it's that hard to argue that this is more scale. That's a really great truck. Now the X5 is going to come with different tires. I'm fairly certain. These are the ones that came on this truck. They do okay. I think the ones I put on it are better. These come off the X4. I think they look better too. I think they perform better, and I think they look better. So I took these off, and these are slightly bigger in diameter. Maybe not. I like pushing them together Maybe not. Maybe it's me. No, they're about the same. I think it's just the tread depth. These have a much deeper tread, so they look bigger because these have a more shallow tread. So I stand corrected. Same size, but I do like the X4's tires better. The X5, I'm not really sure what that comes with, but just know that that's my opinion about it. That's it. Now, this thing, as far as crawlability, this thing crawls really good. And if the X5 is anything like this, it'll crawl really good. There's also ample parts for these things. You can go and buy a body for this right now and replace it. You can buy the Bison XL body that comes. You can get it in gray. This actually comes in gray too. In any case, you can buy these bodies, and you can even buy them with the lighting pre-installed. You do get a very nice ribbon for your lighting. All of this stuff is conformally coated. The receiver box is a Traxxas style. All you have to do is add some dielectric grease up here in the front, and the rest of it is waterproof with the foam. But you do get an interior. The X5 will look basically the same. You'll just have a different sticker up here and a different sticker over here. As far as working on it, these things are not hard to work on. And I would say, though, from a regular maintenance point of view, this is probably going to be easier, just based on the fact that the slipper clutch is right here. You just quarter turn on that cap, and you can get to your slipper clutch if you need to tighten it or loosen it or whatever it is. The fact that you can take the body off completely with the X3 and the X5, and in fact all of the Cross RCs, is, in my opinion, preferable. Because when I have to do work on stuff, like when I was putting the rock lights on this thing and the body was flapping around, it was annoying, and my only alternative was to take all these wires back, trace them all the way back, and unclip everything and remove them, and then take the body off back here with the hinges. It's not the end of the world. It's something you might do every now and then, but that's, you know, it is what it is. I don't know, man. It's kind of a draw when you think about what you get versus what you pay for. I have to tell you, though, I think the deciding factor kind of literally has to be, do you want it to look more scale? This, in my opinion, looks more scale. Let me go ahead and move it off the bench so we can look at that guy right there. I went crawling the other day. This isn't quite what I would put in here, but we can. Battery trays are similar. You will get a bigger battery in the Cross RC one because this is limited in the height. It will hit up here and you won't be able to close the body down. So that blue brick battery that was in the EMO X3, which would be the same one that would fit in the X5, fits nicely. It will not fit in here. It's the right length, perfectly fits inside this tray, but it's too tall. So battery compatibility, Cross RC EMO X5 takes the win there. I would say out of the box performance from the drive system itself, this one, the H8P, the Angry Snail stuff is very, very good. It is Bluetooth programmable with their app. This is a 3S FOC system, 2000 kV. It really just kind of reminds me of like a Hobbywing, like a Hobbywing system, but with like the Bluetooth, right? So I guess that actually makes sense. I am suspicious that Hobbywing didn't just make this for them and then they rebranded it, but I don't care to dig. It works really well. When I harp on the scale aspect, what I mean by that is in no capacity does this look real, except for maybe looking at it right here. You can just see that all that is hollow. You know, it just doesn't look as real and as scale. But you do get aluminum axles. You do get steel drive shafts. These are all metal. The Cross RC ones are metal. Yeah, it's got a good balance to it. You throw a battery up there, it'll be fairly forward biased. And I found this thing actually performs really well. Now, this thing needed a servo to steer worth anything. No, that's not true. I'm going to be fair. The servo steers pretty well. What it needed was a servo link to let the servo do its job. This comes with a servo saver link that is just silly. I tried all I could to make it extra tight, but it still gives so much that you lose a great deal of turning radius when you really need it. You're bound up or you're trying to make a really tight turn. So I had to put my own steel link in here that was from another RC, which Constantine, you probably saw that video. That might even be the one you commented on. I don't actually remember. But this needed the steering link and it needed the servo to do what the Cross RC did RCR. Now the Cross RC servo is not amazing, but it's pretty good. The one that's in here is actually out of my Relarlo, but the Cross RC comes with a 25 kilogram. I must have put them all away. But the servo that comes in these, it actually works pretty well. So I'm going to give trail performance out of the box. Steering wise, Cross RC gets the point. I'm not writing any of this down. Cross RC gets the point. Okay. Turn that off. RTR drive system, Angry Snail, MJX gets the point. Okay, because this, but no, this comes brushless. I take that back. If you buy the X5 and it comes with the steering setup that comes in this and it comes with the Hobbywing Fusion brushless, it wins for steering and drive system. The only thing this thing really has on the X5 advantage-wise is the looks. I really like the way this looks. That's why I have so many of all of these, because I can't help it. But if I am looking to fit in with a group, or maybe, like you said, you're going to do RC with your kid, and maybe film it, and maybe you want to have like the little imaginary adventures with each other, you can't really go wrong with either. But I think this looks more real. It looks more scale. The Hobbywing stuff is kind of a little bit more predictable, and the warranties, like I don't know anything about Angry Snail. I just know that in this one, in the H8P, they work, and they work really well. They both come with decent receivers and waterproof. This one is waterproofed with a similar kind of box, but it uses a rubber seal, and it uses silicone. Like they squirt silicone in there and seal the whole box shut. So if you have to go in there to do something, you're gonna have to break that silicone free, which is not that hard, and then reapply it or do something else. So That is true. But boy, you want to know about handling and performance. I think the better option is probably going to be the Cross RC X5. You can fit it in more places. I know that parts are available. You can just go on the website and order parts. I know for me here in America, I broke the portal gear in the back. I got it trapped in some rocks and I broke it. But I ordered the parts at night on a Thursday and I got them yesterday. I think I got them yesterday. So yeah, they came quick. Today's a Tuesday, by the way. So I ordered them on a Thursday over the weekend. They just showed up in the mailbox yesterday. So parts availability, I'm pretty sure Cross RC wins. I think it will fit better on trails. It will look cool. And if you add the towing boom, I mean, look, from trail fun, you could have a lot of fun doing that with you and your kid. This is almost like it's a standalone performance machine. If you want to do a little fast stuff, it will, but it's fairly heavy. So there is a good there's a good chance you're, I don't know, I don't think you're going to break it. The 12 scale one is pretty durable, so you probably won't break it. But their diff locking system is nearly identical. They both use the Watts link. I don't know who did it first. This is what they use back here. It's called a Watts link. It helps stabilize the rear when you are doing high-speed stuff. So this one came with it. The Land Cruiser came with it as well. Okay, here's an important one. I'll just say this to get it off the table. The quality control for each brand, I've never gotten a Cross RC that needed me to do anything to it. I've never had missing bearings, missing bearing. I've never had missing screw pin, missing screw pin. I never had screws that were loose in the diff, screws that were loose in the diff. Something I just forgot to say to anybody about it at all, but these cables, William frame, yeah, these cables for the front diff and the rear diff, I put these caps on here. They didn't come that way. Those are for bicycle cables. These were just open and like kind of starting to fray. I think that was, you know, like not a good look. I've never had Cross RC come that way. Their actuators for their servo saver system is different, so it wouldn't allow you to have these open. They all come covered with a copper or a brass crimped piece like that, but it's much thinner. I'll tell you this. If I didn't have this entire collection of all these Cross RCs, and I had this truck, and I had an X5, and you said you have to get rid of one and keep the other, I would keep the Cross RC. I have more experience with it. This is a good truck. There was nothing wrong with the wheels that came on it. They're over there waiting to go on something else. I just wanted bead locks. I put some silicone inserts in here, and this thing actually performs quite well. But I think what I probably should do is do a whole series of this thing versus all my Cross RCs on a very specific obstacle. And then, you know, we'll all know. And I know there's a couple of people on the channel who really want to see a versus series. So we'll do that. Not that you need me to do this, but I did it for the cross, so I'll go ahead and do it. for the MJX. Just going to tentatively tuck this battery in here because it's not long enough to actually secure. Don't make fun of me. Just want that to kind of sit in there. Just enough so it doesn't flop out. Where's the remote? Oh, okay. This comes, the one you get, these light up when they're actuated, and if you want to switch what it looks like for the Cross RC, you can make the lights not be on when things are locked or not locked. This thing, I've talked about it in a previous video, and I'll go ahead and touch on it again. Every single button push on this makes a noise. Turn it on, it makes a noise. Yeah, that button's underneath. This does not come with the rock lights. I added those the other day. That servo performance, I added that as well. It was required. Let me turn that off. Cool feature. So what you heard there was a bunch of beeping that you cannot get rid of. This thing comes with this remote, which works really well, but it beeps. And there's nothing you can do about it. But it is incredibly smooth and quiet. This is probably the most quiet RC I may have. Like it's incredibly quiet. Beeps when you put it in 2-speed. Second gear, rather. Beeps when you lock it. Beeps when you unlock it. It just beeps. Now adding that servo and adjusting my endpoints appropriately. This thing has an incredibly good turning radius. Let me turn that one down. There we go. So this thing is a lot of fun. You do get brake lights. Or reverse lights. Oh, that's right. You gotta turn basic lights on. So you get these reverse lights. I don't know, man. I don't have a great answer for you, but if it were me, and I don't know, you're gonna buy 2 of them? I would buy two of the Cross RC ones, man. That's what I would do. This thing's awesome, but if you're looking for a scale trail crawler, this is kind of not it. This is almost like a scale trail racer. This is more of a crawler. Your approach angles over here are pretty obscene. They're pretty bad. Approach angles over here are much, much better. So, man, let me look back at your email and just make sure I actually mentioned everything. But you know, if you're going to force me to tell you which one to buy, it's going to be Cross RC. I think that they're probably going to be more, they're definitely more scale. I don't know about the parts, but I do know that quality control for this, it was a little bit lacking, which I don't mind because I got parts and I know how to fix it. And it's just part of what I'm doing here, so I don't really care. Cross RC, I've never had one delivered with a problem, ever. And they're for for what it's worth, they're actually also very quiet as well. And I guarantee you the X5 with the FOC Fusion 8, that is going to be very, very quiet and very, very strong. Stronger than that. I would almost guarantee it. Plus, it's 4S capable. Passing obstacles. Yeah, I mean, passing obstacles, X5 for sure. The turning radius, it's about the same. This truck is probably slightly more narrow and slightly shorter wheelbase, so it will turn sharper as well. Softness and accuracy. Yeah, so softness and accuracy of the gas. So he's wanting to know, like, you know, throttle modulation. When we compare this system and the Fusion 8 FOC, they're about the same as far as like throttle feel, but the Fusion 8 will definitely be faster and definitely have just more grunt. Let's see. I think that was it, man. I think that was it. I'm reading the email. That's all there is to it. You know, this is exceptionally convenient. This system here, you've got a screw that goes in the bottom underneath to hold the hinge. It's just not in there right now. But I don't think that you can beat this size and this scale with a Hobbywing Fusion 8 for the money. I just don't think you can. But I tell you what, you chose two really good models to compare. So my main takeaway is you will love both of them. But I would be more confident in recommending a Cross RC product to somebody than I would the MJX. And that I hate to say that, but it is true. So yeah, let's hit them rock lights. Huh, pretty sweet. If you're looking for these rock lights, I put it in the video for that. Those are in Jora. They are now making really nice rock lights that go in super easy. Might be time to put a set in this thing. Oh yeah, it's got all kinds of spots to do it. Yeah, it's never been a better time to be an RC. Our choices are so good, and they're extremely difficult now. So, Constantine, I hope this video helped you a little bit. I don't have the X5 to compare. I just know that from scale and trail and crawler capability, this is exceptionally difficult to beat. The Cross RC brand is hard to beat, and I own all of them basically. So you forced my hand, Constantine. I'm going to have to recommend the X5 over this one because these are incredibly tough. They're probably going to be less money too. These are up there now. These are pretty expensive. The aluminum is really cool, but it's basically unnecessary. This actually performs really well, but I think that this performs really well as well. The updated version of this, solid. You can, if you destroy this body, you're going to have to buy a whole new body, and that will be annoying and probably way more expensive than just buying this piece and throwing in the parts that came off of it, unless you destroyed all of it. Anyway, I'm rambling. They both handle really well. I would choose that one if you forced me to meet the criteria that you set forth in your email. So I hope that helps. Anybody else in the comments, say something if you know more about either of these two than I do. I don't have the X5. If you have an X5, let Constantine with a K know what's up. Shout them out in the comments. Help a man out. Figure out what's going to be best for him. I'm going Cross RC X5 via my knowledge of the X3. That's still beautiful, though. I don't know. I hope this helped. Yeah, leave me a like, a comment, share, subscribe. All the things that are super awesome, which would make you super awesome. And we can be awesome together. Peace.